Did you know that the 2010 animated film Megamind is an adaptation of a classic play? Yeah, me neither.
Presentation!
So I was watching a video about Megamind, and while the plot of the movie was being broken down before me, I realized the story was very familiar. In fact, it's a story you've probably heard before. Main character loves someone who doesn't really notice them. Main character typically has some sort of physical difference from the majority of the other people around them. The love interest is interested in someone else. Through deception, the main character pretends to be someone else, typically the person they love, in order to get closer to them. In the end, the love interest falls for them because of their personality. We see the same plot in the 2018 Netflix film Sierra Burgess is a Loser, the 1987 Roxanne starring Steve Martin, and the 2012 Disney Channel original movie Let It Shine. Unlike Megamind, the rest of these movies actually appear on the Wikipedia page for the play they have been adapted from. Now, I say adapted, remember that these are all loose adaptations. Majority of the details and the main plot has changed. In fact, when I was looking through the Wikipedia sometime last year, I remember being slightly surprised to see Sierra Burgess on there. Sierra Burgess I haven't seen, and it's gender swapped, so I was like, okay, maybe it's not that surprising. And then I continued scrolling and saw Let It Shine, and I realized a lot of the names of the characters are actually taken from the names in the original play. The play, Cyrano de Bergerac. Now, to preface this section, I want to start with how I know the story of Cyrano de Bergerac, because I actually haven't read this play, despite the fact I have the book. I know the story of Cyrano thanks to the 2021 movie musical, Cyrano. Cyrano, directed by Joe Wright, is based on a 2018 musical by Erica Schmidt with music by The National. Now, okay, listen. I love folklore, love Evermore. That is how I know who Aaron Dressner is and The National is. But this soundtrack is my favorite thing that they have done. I am very aware that I am one of the few people in the entire world who even knows that this movie exists. I only went to see it in theaters because I am a theater kid. 2021 was a great year for musical movies. We got Tick Tick Boom, directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, In the Heights, directed by John M. Chu, who later went on to do the Wicked movie, and Steven Spielberg's West Side Story adaptation. We also got the awful Dear Evan Hansen adaptation and Sia's offensive take on what autism means. We weren't starved for musical movies in 2021, so it makes sense that even the theater kids do not know about this movie. But I know it, and I want to talk about it. The movie is the closest adaptation of the play that I have personally seen, so that's what I will be using clips of while talking about the play. Cyrano de Bergerac is a play by Edmond Rostand. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is about a soldier and poet, but not a king, who is in love with a woman named Roxanne, but because of his abnormally large nose, Cyrano doesn't think he's deserving of love. Cyrano 2021 has Peter Dinklage in the role of Cyrano de Bergerac, so they don't give him the big nose treatment. Instead, the movie focuses on how self-deprecating he is in regards to thinking that he doesn't deserve the love of someone like Roxanne. Another man, Christian, is also in love with Roxanne and confesses this to Cyrano, along with the fact that he fears he'll never be able to woo her due to his lack of intellect. Cyrano agrees to help him using his own feelings, intellect, and poetry to help Christian win Roxanne's affection. Eventually, Roxanne learns the truth and falls in love with Cyrano. Most loose adaptations of this story have a happy ending. Cyrano 2021 does not. It's the same as the end of the play, I'm assuming. Again, I haven't read it, but I looked at the Wikipedia page and I'm pretty sure I remember it saying it was the same thing. Megamind is an adaptation of this. I was watching that aforementioned Megamind YouTube video, and they said the name of the girl in the movie, and I was like,
No.
okay, and after that, my brain went to the 2021 Cyrano movie. Because A, it is one of my favorite movies. My other movies that are my favorites are basic. Let me have this one not basic take. Also, I'm pretty sure I'd listened to Someone to Say Reprise that day because that song is amazing. So it's not a surprise that I thought of this movie while watching this video. But as soon as my brain made the connection, it began to think about Cyrano while watching this Megamind video. And I realized, this is the story of Cyrano. Megamind is telling the story of Cyrano de Bergerac. It's actually really surprising that I've never seen anyone mention this. It's not mentioned on the Megamind Wikipedia page, nor on the Cyrano de Bergerac page. I even messaged one of the writers to be like, hey, is Megamind based on Cyrano de Bergerac? But they didn't answer because they didn't know who I was. And now, with no proof anywhere, it might sound like I'm crazy. And I am. But this is a Cyrano de Bergerac retelling. The evidence is everywhere. Main character doesn't fit in with the quote-unquote normal people. The love interest is named Roxanne. There's someone else who likes her and tries to change to become what he thinks she'll like. The main character changes himself, hiding behind the disguise of someone else in order to get close to her. Roxanne falls for the main character because of his personality. And that's it. That's my truth. Cyrano de Bergerac is the same story as Megamind. Megamind is retelling the Cyrano de Bergerac story. Obviously, there's a lot more in the plot of Megamind than just the Cyrano de Bergerac plot. That I really think it's cool that a part of this movie is based on a classic play. I mean, it's like when 10 Things I Hate About You is based on Shakespeare, as is She's the Man, and Clueless is based off of a classic lit book that I read and forgot was the inspiration for Clueless until halfway through, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is Clueless. But Megamind being an adaptation of Cyrano de Bergerac means I get to put it on my adaptations ranked list on Letterboxd. Anyways, speaking of heroes and villains, hi, I'm an author. My most recent book, Aria Dalton Didn't Sign Up for This, is set in a world of superheroes. Aria stumbles upon a local villain and ends up with a nemesis. Alongside the new kid at school, Aria seeks to find out what her enemy is up to and put an end to his dastardly plans. If that sounds like something you would like, all of my books are on lulu.com, link in the description. You can also learn about my works on my Instagram, which is also in the description. You can watch more videos here, you can subscribe over here, and don't forget,
there is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Queen of England.